I'm Barbara Rosario, live from Berkeley in California, and I'm with Alessandro Ratti, Deputy for Accelerator Technologies at the Engineering Division at the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab. So Alessandro, in addition to telling us his ISSNAF stories, has offered to take us on a tour of this beautiful, historical, and scientific important institution.
Berkeley Lab was founded in 1931 as a place for the researchers on campus to come and do research on the Hill. And to this date, a lot of people refer to the laboratory as the Hill. We have 6 national user facilities, supercomputers, we have nanotechnology, molecular foundry, lots of diversified research. This is from 1948, the chart of isotopes that was used in this laboratory, in this building. There was a heavy ion accelerator that was used for studying rare isotopes and radioactive isotopes. And so this is where the berkelium, the californium, the seaborgium were discovered. And one of the things that's particular is that we see in multiple areas how the researchers thought that they found something new, and then further studies did not confirm the result.
So Alessandro, you are known as a tireless supporter of ISSNAF. Why this strong commitment to ISSNAF?
It's a commitment to ISSNAF, but it's also a commitment to the mission of ISSNAF. As a researcher, as an engineer, I've always believed that collaboration and communication is essential. And the more the world progresses, the more interdisciplinarity is very important. So my commitment is in building the network in the mission of ISSNAF. Is exactly reflects a lot of my vision. And it's combined with the fact that I've always believed in the Italian education system. I see students coming from Italy with very good background, very good ideas and motivations. And so that is giving students and colleagues in Italy more access to structures in the US. I think it's a win-win for everybody.
You hold a degree in electronics engineering from University of Pavia. Tell us about your journey from Italy, from Pavia to Berkeley, California.
Well, it started a long time ago. And it started when I had the opportunity to become a summer student, much like the program and within the program that Professor Bellettini at Fermilab runs. I spent the summer at Fermilab being exposed to those structures, and that gave me the opportunity of not only learning what particle accelerators in the US, how they're organized and how they operate, but to get interested in pursuing a career in that field. And that's when I then applied to Fermilab. Colleagues at Fermilab forwarded my resume to Brookhaven, and eventually I got a job at Brookhaven. 10 years at Brookhaven, and then I moved to Berkeley. One of the things that I did shortly after arriving in Berkeley is that I was fortunate enough to be accepted at the business school program, the MBA program here at Haas, which had a huge impact in the rest of my career.
I was curious about that actually. How do you think an MBA is important for your work in particle accelerators?
Understanding how a manager thinks, understanding how to talk to managers as well as how to talk to reports and employees and colleagues was one of the many examples.
And maybe it helped with your parallel career. You have founded several successful startups and are currently involved in one.
Absolutely. I always joke that if I stayed in New York, I probably would have gotten involved in financial engineering and derivatives. And coming to the Bay Area is almost like a must to be involved in startups. I was fortunate to be part of several successful ones, and most of them from the grounds up.
Tell us a few details of this startup.
Is really now, and I'm very excited because it's the first time that my two worlds join, and it's a company that is building an accelerator for the semiconductor industry. So basically, it's applying what I've done in my day job to an industrial application. I think it's really exciting and it has great opportunities. Of course, everybody thinks that at the beginning of a company.
What's the application of
It's photolithography. So it's basically using photons for making chips.
This is a display of the very early days portrait of our founder, Mr. Orlando Lawrence, holding the first cyclotron that he developed, and a picture in the 40s when the structure that we are visiting was built. The iron yoke that was part of the 184-inch cyclotron was so big that it was put in place first, and then the structure was built around it. That's why to this date, the decommissioned yoke is still in place and is used as a holding point for our crane.
So this is the aerial view of a light source with the historic building in the middle, the addition that was done when the advanced light source was built in the late 80s and early 90s, and of course, the beautiful view of the bay.
What are you most excited about regarding future directions in your field?
Through the years, we have seen how technology and science come hand in hand and grow hand in hand, where things that were not possible 30 years ago are possible today because technology is expanding and improving. So, what we are doing, what in this building, researchers are doing with lasers, is something that certainly would not have been possible many years ago.
Can you give us some examples of the newest application of particle accelerators?
That's a tough question. Particle accelerators have now been started at this laboratory for basic physics research to discover particles, but they've already diversified very broadly. They're used in homeland security, they're used in cancer therapy, they're used for studying materials, for studying proteins and molecules, for studying chemical compounds. So there's a huge range of applications. One of the most exciting new field of research is the one enabled by free electron lasers, which are these new accelerators that were pioneered by friend Claudio Pellegrini, one of our most eminent scientists in the Bay Area and in ISSNAF.
We have an ISSNAF story with him.
Rightfully so.
And if I understand correctly, you as a deputy in the engineering division, you're working on the hardware to enable these experiments.
My responsibility is to ensure that we work closely alongside of our scientist colleagues to have the tools and the technologies needed for their applications.
This picture shows how the advanced light source works, and it basically is based on a linear injector, a booster ring that transfers the beam onto a storage ring. The storage ring has magnetic elements that create X-rays that are extracted in many of these lines. Each line has its own characteristics and studies different aspects of a broad range of fields.
Do you have any professional ties with Italy?
We constantly work with Italians. One of the things that I'm most proud is a number of years ago is when we actually had a direct collaboration with Synchrotron Trieste, where we were able to deploy in Trieste a technology that was developed here at this lab for one of our projects, and now it's used regularly in that lab. But beyond that, we have multiple collaborations. We also work with Italian industry. Half of the superconducting cavities that were part of the free electron laser we just built at SLAC was built in Italy, and so we not only work with Italian universities, but there are a number of highly specialized Italian companies that we are happy to work with because of the unique skills and because of the quality of what they do.
And there are a lot of Italians here at the Berkeley lab.
Not only a number of Italians, but many Italians in key positions.
What piece of advice would you give a young Italian researcher?
To me, the biggest piece of advice that I can think of, and applies to a number of the young Italians I met, is don't be shy and don't be afraid. Because again, the background and the education that they bring is second to none. And so they should be confident that they can make an impact right away.
Here we are in a hallway, in a long hallway that was part of the support structures for the accelerator that was held in this building, in many years ago. Now our colleagues have set up a display of the history of some of the key technologies in particle acceleration that have been developed at this laboratory, starting from Lawrence's discovery and invention of the cyclotron, gave him a Nobel Prize, and some of the key applications of cyclotrons at LBNL. This picture from 1969 shows 7 Nobel laureates from LBL, including Emilio Segre, which is an Italian, a successful Italian physicist. And now in the late 80s, the advanced light source, which is in the same building of the 184-inch cyclotron. Now on to the most modern technology that's being studied and is being advanced here at the lab, which is the laser plasma acceleration schemes that started already 20, 25 years ago, but they represent the cutting edge of high gradient structures in particle accelerators.
What is a typical day at work for you here?
Right now, I am the system manager for the electronic systems of the construction project to build the next generation light source, the upgrade of the advanced light source here at Berkeley. And so I follow the construction, the planning, the construction, the execution of all the electrical systems. That means ensuring that the planning is accurate, budget and schedules are met, and that the proper technology and technology choices are being properly implemented. I spend too much time in meetings, like everybody who is a manager will tell you. But I also do have good moments where I can see this whole project putting the building blocks together to be successful.
And what does it mean for a job to be completed in this case?
In this case, we have to build an accelerator, it has to work. So in about 2 years, we turn off the current user facility, rip it all apart, put a new one in, and we have 1 year to do it, which is a big challenge. And so you have to be prepared. You have to have everything ready. And it's also one of those terrifying moments because that's when you know that something is going to go wrong. And as much as you plan, there will be surprises. And somebody said, you don't really have a plan unless you have a plan B.
And good luck. And
thank you.
We'll come back after the launch.
We'll see you in 3 years.
Okay.
With this, we conclude our many decades of history in particle accelerators development at Berkeley Labs. I hope you found it interesting and look forward to the opportunity of showing you more and more innovation in the years to come. Thank you again.